idea. Cheers! Is this a good thumbnail? Right, so this here river is called Urumea, but if you look at the maps, it has a surname, Urumea Itsasadara. You have to love the Basques, don't you? And their fascinatingly complex language. Check out the Basques, man, building bridges. We have to end up there. Alright. This is my second time in San Sebastián. The local name is Donostia, but I guess San Sebastián is more well known to the world out there. I was here some 18 years ago. I had a friend here who was doing her Erasmus, and I have some memories. You see, at one point we went to this bar, an old school punk rock bar. The shocking detail about that particular bar was that each and every one of the locals in that bar had someone, family member, friend, I don't know, whatever, in jail because of ETA. Now, to my young, innocent head, that was a shock. So here we are, back here, to investigate. So I guess San Sebastián is the perfect place to address this wound that's called ETA, and watch the local derby also between Real Sociedad and Athletic. Good morning, everybody. Today is match day. Real Sociedad is playing against Athletic Club de Bilbao. Real against Athletic derby. It's actually a friendly one. You have countless examples of fans of both teams eating and drinking together at the center of town and then marching to the stadium together. Yesterday we had a brief introduction to the dark past, let's say, of this region, mentioning ETA. San Sebastián is one of the major hubs in the formation and later the action of ETA. So why did ETA even exist, you may ask? Well, it's not so difficult actually. Francisco Franco managed to infuriate basically anybody who had been on the wrong side of the Spanish Civil War, basically the Democratic Army, which included the Basques. Franco severely suppressed their identity, man. I mean, he banned their language from being taught at schools, their flags, and I won't even mention the countless persecutions, arrests, tortures. I mean, we have to be real here. It was this here city's police inspector that was ETA's first planned execution. A certain individual called Melitón Manzanas. He was a police chief back in the day, back in 1968, and a torturer. Members of ETA ambushed him outside of his house in the nearby city of Irún while he was returning from work, and for them it was retaliation for all the torturing that took place in a very well-known prison at the time called the barracks of Inchaurondo. This was a pivotal moment for the Franco regime and the Spanish society, to be honest. The authorities arrested the culprits, who were sentenced to be executed. And if the French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre was actually well known for his communist leanings, if his opinion wasn't enough, when the Pope intervened and asked for a softer punishment, the Spanish authorities actually complied. The responsible for this assassination were not executed. Now fast forward to 1984, and you see a typical retaliation, let's say, from the Spanish state, and their hired paramilitaries, the GAL, the Grupos Antiterroristas de Libertad. They were basically hired mercenaries from the Spanish state. El Mundo wrote about them and their whole existence became a national and international, probably, fiasco. Look at all these people sunbathing, man, here in La Concha. I'm so glad that Jürgen is a red. Was a red. Look at these beautiful little streets, man. What is this team we've never heard of? Yeah, man, so if you ever come, just a moment, if you ever come over to San Sebastián, Donostia, definitely come to this place. I mean, it's an eye-opener for many things Basque, basically. And it's also a reminder that it wasn't only the civil war, man. I mean, these people, we are more accustomed to the civil war from 1936 to 39, and we tend to forget that the previous century, these people had another 3 civil wars. Last appearance of Franco, man. 4 days after the last execution of ETA members. Wow. Look at this. So this guy, Beñarán, Marxist ideologist of ETA. He was murdered by Batallón Vasco Español, which basically means that there were more operations and groups than the GAU. So look at this, 1982, the 7th Assembly of ETA decided to become a political party. Now the 8th said, better not, let's continue. What I appreciate about this exposition of memories is the combo with other events during those years, like this Rolling Stones concert or Velázquez anthology at the Prado. What a building! Look at all these cameras. Was this a monastery, man? This is gorgeous. All societies are built on their own experiences. That's it, man. Memory. This is why it made absolutely no sense, this whole forget pact. Apparently whaling was a thing at some point here. Look at this galleon, man. Flipping hell, look at the detail. I mean, I like the fact that there are so many tombstones in this museum, and all of them have this round thingy. I mean, look at this. Look at the detail here. And it apparently symbolizes the moon. Is this a good thumbnail? Look at all these luggages, man. I can't believe I'm doing all this. Everything that you see in these videos are done with me carrying a simple backpack. Bilbao. Bloody hell, Bilbao Athletic Clubeco camiseta. En Real Sociedad Deco camiseta. Deep blue, red and white, Wembley. Why on earth Wembley? Bilbao. Look at this cloak, man. Bloody hell, this is eerie. Just look at the democratic flag, man. I mean, the red and the yellow, okay, we've seen that. But the purple, man. A flag with a violet color. In 1936, the Popular Front won the elections and activated the autonomy process. And when the Civil War started, it was but a point to be approved. No wonder they were pissed. So it's almost a century, right? 1839, 1931. A big book of fueros being stabbed by a knife. So the fueros were basically the rights of autonomy, let's say, of the Basque people, which gradually became less and less and less and less, which culminated just before the Civil War. And this is basically why they voted so hard pro their independence. Now, the very reason that the fueros existed in the first place was exactly this extreme difference that the Basque people had to everybody around them. I mean, remember, this is the same population that was never affected. I mean, they fought against the Romans, against Charlemagne, against many invaders. They retained their language, they retained everything. Flipping hell, this museum is extremely loud. And in return, the Basques basically participated, you know? I mean, you saw where that galleon was. There were quite a lot of people from Basque origin that took part in all these expeditions of the Castilla regime. And if you have a population that even the Romans could not affect, I mean, you realize that you have to give something back. That was the fueros. Look at this one. So, modernization of the Basques. Bikinis. And SEAT. This here would be the Spanish equivalent of to Fiat. What started as an artistic revolt, let's say, to the Franquist regime, continued with the forming of ETA up until the moment that it was not more accepted by the majority of the Basque people. Remember, this is how ETA actually gave up. It lost its great support in these here lands. El Greco, man. My fellow Cretan. What a sin. Nowadays, this would be cancelled. I mean, scenes, man. We should climb up there, to that Icuriña. These PINTXOS, man. I mean, it's amazing how good you feel after 2 or 3 of them. And you are basically light enough to continue and go on your day. And you have the feeling at the same time that you actually ate something quality, you know? I very much approve of this whole pincho tradition. And what better way to prove it than climb this hill till we reach that Icuriña. Somebody's singing down there. After all this climbing, found Jesus. But did we find faith, man? Check out this arsenal, man. The Concha Beach and all those mountains in the background, where all the intruders met their fate. So you can actually see the stadium from here. What an interesting fortification, man. So the reason these people needed a castle were, of course, the neighbors. I mean, just around the corner is France. San Sebastián was burned to ashes at some point in 1813. It was burnt because of the war between the Napoleonic troops and the English-Portuguese army, who were trying to fight against Napoleon, with not much success up until a certain point in history. Look at the sea, man. I mean, look at this. Look at this sensational view here. The open sea. San Sebastián, by the way, was a fishing village, of course, in the beginning. And this lot here had a unique talent in hunting whales. Our mission, however, has failed. Where was that flag? I mean, the whole purpose of this climb was to find that Basque flag. And instead we found Jesus, which we were not looking for. Look at this tree, man, growing on top of this cave. So we are there. Jesus was here. And if I'm not mistaken, the flag was somewhere here. And we came like this. So we should go like that. Are you hearing this? The enthusiasm of the Bilbaínos and the Donostianos before the DERBI. Palestina, be free, in the Basque language, Askatu. Jesus is watching over our heads. There you have it, man. We found the flag. The proud Icuriña. It's over there. It's so close no matter how far. I think it's this way. There you have it, man. The wind-torn Icuriña. I don't know what to say, man, about Palestine. It's so devastatingly sad. Look at this, man, even more beaches. And no whales left. Look at this. Look at this chill square, man. It's difficult to imagine that one street behind it are both the ultras of Athletic and Real Sociedad drinking beers. Now, regarding the ultras, what can I say, man? We talked about Athletic in the previous episode. De Inigo Capacas, Harry Harmaila group. Harry Norte is not anymore active as a group, at least. Probably the people are, but now here in San Sebastián you have had, I'm not sure if they're still active, Peña Mujica. That was back in the day in the old Anoeta, before the renovations. Actually, by the way, Anoeta was also a pretty much ugly stadium with an athletic ring around the pitch. Now it's gorgeous, man. English style. And if I'm not mistaken, Peña Mujica has evolved in the firm of Real Sociedad. They actually have a group called the RSF Firm, which is quite active. As a matter of fact, they have pretty much attacked everyone that Real Sociedad played against. They attacked Roma when Roma was here, Benfica, if I remember correctly. Let's see. And they had problems in Rome against Lazio. Lazio attacked them. Anyway, there is activity going on. And here we are, man, back at the river. Check out poor Urumea Sadara, man. They thrown plastic cones in it. Look at them, man. I mean, are you kidding me, man? And in order to close the chapter of ETA, they did have a role to play in the restitution of democracy, let's say, in Spain. In 1973, they attacked successfully a guy called Luis Carrero Blanco. Now, he was the chosen one by Franco to succeed him. And with him out of the picture, suddenly there was no succession. Franco died 2 years later, and with no one to succeed him, let's just say that the democratic procedure became a bit easier. None of it, however, justifies the fact that more than 800 people lost their lives because of the ETA actions. I mean, there's no justification for something like this, as there is no justification for more or less anything that the regime did. Anyway. How are we doing, everybody? Good evening from the banks of Urumea Itzasadara, the river with a name and a surname. We're actually going up to a point towards the center. Maybe we can catch some of the fans marching together towards the stadium, but I think that I'm probably a little bit late for that. Anyway, we'll see. And also, hopefully, no rain is going to catch us. Reale Arena. That's the sponsor. Look at this, man. So now I recognize the place actually. This is exactly the spot that this lot were fighting with Roma when Roma was here. So cool. This is definitely fair play, man. This is such a phenomenal atmosphere, man. We were catching buses the last time, man. Real Sociedad bus. Apparently without players, they are inside. So Athletic not only uses only Basque players, while Real Sociedad not anymore. They are only one of the two, one of the three actually. Barcelona and Real are the other two not to have ever relegated in the Segunda. Real Sociedad, on the other hand, have been 15 or 16 times relegated. So we cannot go with a beer in the shop, which kind of makes sense. Look at this, we have a fellow vlogger. So I'm supposed to enter there. As you can imagine, it was impossible to find normal tickets, so I resolved to buy a VIP one. The VIP. I have to say, man, why do they do this with the outside of the stadiums? You know, after seeing the Bologna stadium, I have standards now. What is this blue, glassy, plasticky thing? No offense to any Real Sociedad fans, by the way. I love you. You're a great crowd. Check it out, man. They're flying a drone. Imagine what would have been if we could be flying drones over stadiums. So it opens an hour before. So what do we recommend? Should we support Real Sociedad in this? I find it difficult to support someone who wears blue. Except Greece. That's another thing. Athletic, on the other hand, mamma mia. I mean, after losing 3-0 to United, I don't know how I feel about them. Euskal Federazioak. Right, let's get in, man. So we are in the thing.
Check out Ernesto Valverde, man. The only gentleman coach of Olympiacos that I've known. And he plays rock and roll. Ernesto is pissed, man. Let's see how's the view from up here. Boring game, by the way. It's a lot better, isn't it? So we are down there. Should we trust this man, man, to do something at Old Trafford?
Yeah, it's colorful. What do you reckon, man? I mean, the game was boring. I want to say, however, that it was a very nice gesture from the Real fans to expose that banner for justice for Inigo and Aitor Zabaleta. What's insane is if you think that in the case of Zabaleta, for example, there has been 27 years, man. 27, it's insane. And the Cabacas case, 13. Like, so there you have it. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good morning, everybody. So let's head once again to the center of town, man. Let's start with yesterday's derby, man. What a fantastic atmosphere that was, especially before the game. It's not often that you see a game that's called a derby have been so friendly, so brotherhoodly. If the Basque Country would have been independent, these two would have hated each other. As for the result, this was probably a good result for Athletic. They still have to play that second leg in Manchester. We'll come back to that. But it was a bad result, I guess, for Real. Real needed victory at the derby. Now, Athletic, I came in the Basque Country full of praise for your shenanigans and history and legendary actions as a unique football club in Europe. You managed to somehow beat Las Palmas in the game that I was also present. And then you go on and let A club like Manchester United, 15th in the league. Harry Maguire, I mean, swap the floor with your tears. How could you do that, man? And you let that happen in the very stadium, your own stadium, that's going to be the venue where the final of that cup will be held. I'm speechless. I still consider you a legendary club, by the way. Long may you last. Belfast. Wow. Agur eta ojore, eusko gudariak. I'm kind of scared to translate that, man. Did you guys know that San Sebastián is a surf paradise, man? Well, apparently it is. So how about the Ikurriña, you may ask? Remember the Basque flag, the one we were hunting yesterday? I have notes. Now, first of all, did you guys know that this flag is actually part of another flag of a complex of islands outside of the Canadian Newfoundland, which is called Saint Pierre and Miquelon. Complex of islands. When the French colonized Canada, what is now known as Canada, groups of French Basques joined the whole party. What party, you may ask? Well, the party of colonizing this part of the world and stealing their woods, while at the same time destroying the local communities. That party. So this group of islands has on its flag the bloody Basque flag, the Ikurriña. Would you ever believe that? Look at this, fellow vlogger, same camera. Are you happy about it?
Sí.
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Hablas español?
No, puedo hablar, pero no puedo entender.
Okay.
Es muy difícil porque es muy rápido.
Muy rápido, sí.
Sí.
Greek, maybe? No, eh?
No, I can speak English.
Where are you from?
I'm from South Korea.
You like the Basque Country?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
That's Jesus.
Have you ever been there?
Yes.
Oh.
Jesus is big. So here we are socializing with other vloggers. Now, the Ikurriña. The red on the flag symbolizes the Basque culture. The green symbolizes the oak tree of Guernica. Remember that? We actually couldn't see that, and it's a pity because it's a great symbol of that city. As for the white represents Catholicism. So I left the beach because the wind was picking up. Look at these two trees having a love affair. What's going on there, man? I mean, remember, the Basques were here long before the Romans were, in isolation between the mountains and River Ebro, creating their own mythology, their own history, their own language, a language that is still a mystery to modern linguists. And a mythology, man, that, I mean, trust me on this. If you want one day to have your own black metal band, you don't need to go to Norway or, I don't know, read Tolkien day and night. You just have to come here and have a peek in these here lots mythology. So for the Basques, the main god slash goddess is Mari. Mari is a mother goddess, the goddess of life, but also of destruction if something annoys her. Interesting. She's also the consort of a god called Sugar. Now this guy is a mixture between our very own Zeus and maybe Hades. He's both the god of the underworld and thunder, and he's very much associated with snakes and serpents. Snakes being the representation of Renaissance and rejuvenation, let's say. Then you have creatures like Basajun, that's the wild man living in the woods, something like Tolkien's Radagast, the wizard Radagast. You also have evil spirits or treacherous spirits, nymphs of the woods, or Gaiskin, a spirit that causes diseases, and bad health. There are also giants in the Basque mythology, man. The giants are considered the builders of the dolmen, you know, the big rocks that you very often encounter in the coastline, both in France but also here. There's even an entity called Tartalo. He is basically the Basque version of the Cyclops. What's not to like, man, in this Basque mythology? Look at this. We have peacock action. Check it out, look at this beauty. Well, hello. Is this a good thumbnail? Probably the best, right? Nope, bad idea. But flipping hell, man, you're gorgeous. What I've been meaning to say with all this mythology story is the very strong connection that the ancient Basques had with nature, with the living creatures of the forests and the mountains and the sea. So, as we make our way on the bridge above the magical Urumea Itzasadara, the river, with a name and surname, I can't think of a better place to say goodbye from the Basque Country. And make no mistake, we will be coming back, man. I really want to visit places like Pamplona, watch Osasuna play, or Deportivo Alavés for that matter, in Victoria. I bloody remember that, what was it, UEFA Cup final in Dortmund against Liverpool. What a game! So until we return to the Basque Country, this is it for now. I salute all of you. See you in the next one. Bye bye.